Mabil, how you doing?
Hello.
Good to see you. That's the sound of the Do Some Good publication.
That's a good sound. I like that sound. That sound sounds like a heavier sound than we had last year.
It is. It is a little heavier because this thing keeps growing.
This
is the fourth year we've done this. I'll admit, the first year we had no idea. It was just an idea. We were like, hey, let's see if we can support some nonprofits and create a publication. We did. It went really well. And then so here we are 4 years later, and now we're doing podcast interviews and video interviews. And this year I'm going off my rails and creating some blog post epic content for each organization. So, but excited to see where it's going to go. So.
Yeah. One of the things that I love about it is the fact that there are so many people, organizations doing so much good that we have the opportunity to grow. So if you're out there and you're part of something, please contact us so we can highlight you and all the good that you are doing in the community.
Yeah, it's a great point. Actually, this is something that's different for this year. There should be a live form still on our site on the Do Some Good section.
I believe it is still,
where people are actually still filling it out. Randomly, we got one yesterday from a company that actually wants to, I think, sponsor somebody. So how cool is that we're not having to wait until like 6 months from now? We're doing that right now.
It's a year-long project.
Exactly. It's becoming a 12-month 365 24/7 project, apparently. Did you know you were signing up for that? No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
But I am excited about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That means that there's good being done, and that is the name of the game.
100%. All right, guys, hang out, watch this intro, and then we're going to tell you who we have on today. I wonder if the organization we have on today, I bet it's one of the oldest organizations in Mobile.
Stop it.
If I had to guess, I don't know if it's the oldest, and this is not a contest for who has the oldest organization. That's not the whole point of this. But
if it were.
But I think these guys would be in the running. They've been around since 1864, which is crazy. That's part of their history, actually.
So just a few years older than you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a couple years older than
We're excited to have on Pratt Patterson with the Wilmer Hall today, and maybe he can come on and tell us, are we correct? Is his organization one of the oldest?
Let's bring him on. Let's find out. Pratt, how are you doing today, sir?
Doing fine. How are y'all?
Good, man. Thanks for carving out some time to chat with us about Wilmer Hall. We appreciate it. And so I guess you heard me. Is Wilmer Hall potentially the oldest? Any idea?
I don't know the answer. I know that the Chamber of Commerce is older than Wilmer Hall.
Okay. They might have us edged out, huh?
They were, I think, 1838, which is pretty cool.
Really? That is pretty cool. I didn't know that. Okay.
But I don't know many as old for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll get into the history of that in probably in just a second. But so like, I guess I always like starting off just kind of asking like, hey, you and me meet on the street. We say, what's up? High five. Nice to meet you. And I'm like, oh, cool, Pratt. What do you do? Oh, Wilmer Hall. Oh, cool. What is that? What would you tell me?
We are a home that works with young people, children and young adults to provide a safe home for people that have been homeless or risk of being homeless or in a home that was not safe or healthy.
Okay.
And we run education programs where we tutor children in 4 sites around the community, including here on campus. And then most recently, we also have a delivery-based food pantry, and we fed about 100 individuals or families around the community last year who are food insecure. About 400. I don't know how many I've seen.
Oh wow. Okay, so that's a newer thing that you guys are doing.
That's been a couple of years, and it's kind of my side gig. Most of our resources go toward the residential programs and the education programs, but we've worked that in there also.
You mentioned young people. So do you guys have an age preference that you are able to serve the community, or is it birth to 18?
No, it's primarily young adults, 18 to about 24. And then about a third of our residents are very young children and babies, and they're here with their young adult mothers.
Which is incredible, which is something that is unique to you guys. The fact that you are able to serve that age group, I think that that is something that is majorly missed, especially in the mobile area. So the fact that you guys have a place, a residential location for that age group is insane. And so you mentioned that if they're in that situation and they have a young one, also you guys will take that in. And so whenever someone comes into the program or comes into Wilmer Hall, you guys have some programs that are incredible. Tell us a little bit about what each individual would have the opportunity to be a part of.
So we do, and I'll say I think it's important that there be organizations to work with other populations, but our focus is to work with people that have the kind of natural ability to become independent and relatively successful. Not people, that need intensive psychotherapy or have histories of violence or, things like that. And so if somebody comes in, they certainly, some people might come in and need to get their GED. Some people might be still in high school, 11th or 12th grade. Some people might be wanting to go to a vocational training program or a 2-year or 4-year college. So any kind of educational support we can help with. And then for people that have finished all the school that they're going to do, we have job skills and life skills training where we help people not only with job skills, both kind of hard and soft job skills, but also with life skills training, like how to shop and cook, basic car maintenance, how to file your taxes, healthy relationships, parenting.
Yeah.
Everything really that many of us got from our parents when we were growing up that our residents have not had.
These are great skills. Yeah, absolutely.
That is adulting. That you're right. If they don't have that parent or older guardian in their life that's pouring into them those skills, goodness, I mean, as parents, you and we are both. It's hard to teach those skills sometimes intentionally, and so we're hoping that our children are picking those things up. But that's incredible. Mm-hmm. And so, not only do you guys give them a place to stay, but I do know that you get.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You're fine. You have these educational programs and these things that you guys can subject them to and get them immersed in. So what are the things that the community can do to help further what you guys are doing?
Well, we are doing more than most people realize. Historically, we were an orphanage, for younger children. And now we have, many more programs than that. So the first thing I would encourage people to do is maybe just hop on wilmerhall.org and just read about everything we're doing or give us a call. And then of course we need, we have a lot of privacy considerations. And so we don't have a lot of volunteer opportunities for people to work with our residents. Our primary need, frankly, is monetary support. And you can find out more about that on our website also. We always need food for our food pantry, baby items like diapers and wipes, some things like that also.
So whenever someone is in the position, whether they're facing homelessness or they're in a bad family home, how do they find out about Wilmer Hall? Are you guys part of resource programs that are available to the public? Do you guys go into those areas? How do they find you?
A lot of times it's word of mouth or by internet searches. If somebody's in need of a place to live, they might search for Mobile, Alabama homeless shelter or something.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and we're not a shelter really. We're intended to be a longer term home where you can develop and learn to take care of yourself. But you can find us through those kinds of searches. And then probably our biggest organized source for referrals would be the United Way's 211 hotline, and that's a great resource for anybody that doesn't know about it. They can really help. It's run by Lifelines Counseling, and they can really direct somebody that's having trouble to any number of kinds of organizations for any number of challenges, and they would just dial 211.
Yeah, I've heard great things about that service, and I think that's really trying to be like one of the hubs, right, for our area.
Mhm.
People can call in and just because when people need something, like you don't know the information until you're in need, right? And then when you
Right,
become in need, you don't know where to go. But if
right.
you can know to go there, you can know that they can find the right solution for you. So that's really cool to hear you say that, you know, that's a good place for people to go, and then potentially can find their way to you. So that's great.
And hopefully, one of the goals I'm sure that you guys have is the fact that you're coming in and you're changing some learned behaviors and you are trying to stop this cycle from happening to the next generation, and really working with these young people who have the whole world ahead of them, to be able to go in and change their habits and change what happens to their future and the future of their children. And you mentioned, whenever it's not necessarily a shelter, so you're not going to come in, you're not going to stay for a week and go. You're wanting to pour into these young people and to teach them skills that they need to have a successful future. And so, what would be a typical time frame that someone would be on campus with you guys?
It can vary, but I would say the goal for someone uh, in vocational training or just trying to enter the workforce or just improve where they are in the workforce, the goal would be within about 2 years for them to have gotten a driver's license, bought a car, opened bank accounts, learned how to cook, learned how to do everything they need to do, and have an apartment or a house. So the goal would be 2 years. Now, if somebody, you know, was a senior in high school and came in and wanted to go to college, they could stay here as long as they were a student. So theoretically, somebody could be here 5 or 6 years, but that's not typical. We do have more residents go through vocational trainings and 2-year college usually through Bishop State, which just is a great school and has all kinds of great programs.
That's incredible. Yeah. So just being able to have, coming from a situation where we have not been needing shelter or needing homes, to be able to have something that is so all encompassing. You guys are focused on their well-being, of course, and their mental stability, their future stability, careers, and something that you guys are able to do as well, being the organization that you are, you're able to focus on their spiritual needs also. So can you tell us a little bit about, and that kind of has to do with the way that you were founded and some of the principles you guys were founded on?
We are part of the Episcopal Church, so we are a faith-based organization. We don't force people to go to church or preach at people. I think we would say that we're being Christians by trying to help care for others and meet people's basic human needs. But we do have an Episcopal priest who is our chaplain, and he's available for any kind of spiritual need that residents might have, including talking about what they believe, even if that they don't believe anything. That's still okay. And we will help facilitate any kind of spiritual needs that residents have. Our house mothers will take people to oftentimes churches that are whatever faith tradition they've grown up in. We don't make people go to Episcopal churches or go to church at all, but we can help facilitate those things for anybody that's kind of searching for that.
Sounds like you're meeting people where they are with no requirements of any sort of faith background or anything like that, or no requirements to have a future one, just to guide and help them along the way. And some of the things that we talked about earlier, as far as fundraisers and the things that people can do in the community to help further what you guys are doing. One of the things that you guys do that we always try to be a part of, you have a pancake event
I
that
know
is
I've eaten pancakes. I always get a stack of pancakes. Yeah,
which
yeah.
is really cool because, and I'll let you speak to this more, but you guys do that on campus. You do it at your location. And so when people are coming, they have the opportunity to see everything that you guys are doing, which is sometimes not always the case whenever there's a fundraiser.
That's right. This year, our pancake breakfast, I'm not positive. I want to say it's maybe the 16th annual or something like that.
All right.
And
Pretty good track record, man.
Yep.
That's pretty solid track record there. Yeah.
And that'll be 7 to 10 in the morning on Saturday, April 30th. People can drive through and pick up their pancakes, or they can come sit in our lawn. We'll have a band playing and eat their pancakes. And that's also for anybody that has a small business or a large business. That's a good way to support Wilmer Hall and get your business some publicity by being a sponsor, either for the pancake breakfast or for the Kaiser Marie Memorial Fishing Tournament, which we put on, and that will be June 4th this year. Both of those are opportunities for businesses and business owners to be supportive and to help publicize their business.
And two
Nice.
incredibly unique fundraisers that you do, two incredibly unique events for individuals or businesses to get involved in. And sometimes businesses, the best way that they can get involved with any organization is to be a sponsor and to be able to provide the funding to put the event on, to then for the organization to make more money. Sometimes it's, when you're not in that world, it seems like a lot, and it's kind of a lot to understand, but a lot goes into a fundraiser, and a lot of hands are a part of that. So we are thankful for everyone who's ever sponsored for you guys. So the Kaiser Marie, you said that is June 4th, 2022, and the pancake breakfast is April 30th of 2022. So some super fun things to look forward to. So if someone hasn't heard of the Kaiser Marie tournament, can you give us a little background on that?
Kaiser Marie, people here in Mobile locally may recall, was a young man that was killed a number of years ago in a terrible way. And some of his friends started the Kaiser Marie Memorial Fishing Tournament about 12 years ago in his memory. Kaiser was a big sportsman and loved to fish. And now we host the event with the help of some of those friends still on the planning committee, and all of the proceeds from that benefit Wilmer Hall. His Kaiser's parents usually come down from Birmingham and are a part of it, and that takes place in two places every year: the Mobile Big Game Fishing Club in Orange Beach, and at with a satellite weigh-in station on Dolphin Island.
Very cool.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I love that his name is part of the title of the event. It's a way to remind people of who he is, and people can always, go online and find out more about that. So very cool that you guys do that. Incredible events that you guys host. So great ways for the community to get out and be a part.
For sure. Yeah, I never met Kaiser, but I'm friends with some of those guys that helped put on originally that tournament. And actually early on, I kind of helped out, I think, in some of those early committee meetings, even though I never met Kaiser myself. I think he was a similar age to me though. So yeah, glad that you guys are a part of that tournament and able to be beneficiaries as well. That's great. That's really awesome. So early on, I said 1864. Obviously, we're not going to hash on this, but it was Wilmer Hall originally an orphanage. Wasn't it related to like Civil War orphans, or
yes,
not necessarily? Okay,
it was. So you can imagine anywhere where there's a war, there's a lot of death and destruction, and a lot of children and families are left historically can be left without fathers or fathers that can't work. So when Bishop Wilmer, who was the second Episcopal Bishop of Alabama, founded it, it was for war orphans specifically, because that was 1864, of course. And they also had some women live there who had been widowed by war also.
Got it. So really early on, very similar to what you guys have grown into. So
I love that it has continued till today, and then we don't have to go into the world around us right now, but I think that we have some more of an understanding today of the need that has been placed on places like you guys, for orphanages and things that are going on in our world right now. Okay, we've talked about some fundraisers, and you've talked about some things that the community can do to get involved and be a part to further your mission. What are the ways that they can find you and contact you?
All of our information is on wilmerhall.org, including telephone number, email addresses, and donation information, really anything people need. And then if you want to keep up kind of with events that we have happening and with accomplishments that our residents achieve a lot of times, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
I think that I'm so glad that you said that, because you guys do an amazing job of highlighting some of the young people that have come through your program. I love seeing the posts that you guys make. It's very encouraging and motivating. And so I think as we wrap up, Brooks has the standard.
Yeah.
How can I get some more information out of you question?
Yeah, I get, it's a question that people have said, oh, this is kind of, it kind of throws them off a little bit, I guess. But I mean, that's not my purpose. My purpose is to just, if there's something additional that you'd want to share. So I like to ask, is there anything that you wish people maybe asked you in an interview about Wilmer Hall, but they don't, and you just wish maybe you could shine a light on that a little bit more? Does any, if something comes to mind to you when I said that, what would that be? And if it's nothing and we covered everything, then awesome. But if something comes to mind,
I always like to, I do like to encourage people to follow us on social media, because it a lot of times it humanizes what's happening. That ding you heard a few minutes ago, I don't know how to turn it off on my computer. I turned it off on my phone, but it was a text message saying that a young woman that came in a little while back had gotten a late night job at Burger King, which is fine. And then obviously when our residents have entry level jobs, we want to work on getting to a better position. And that was a text message from one of our social workers letting me know that she had just been promoted to general manager of the whole restaurant.
How cool.
So I just like for people to ask, I like for people to hear stories about actual people, because it humanizes it rather than just giving statistical data or whatever.
Totally with you. Yeah, that's a great one, Pratt. That's good. I'm glad I asked that question, because you're right. I mean, it's kind of like for all organizations, you have the overarching information and stats about what we do, but then you're right. The closer you can really get to the source and an individual and a person and story, and you're right. It just it makes it come to life and that much more real, and it kind of draws people like us or the community closer to the organization because of that. So. That's huge.
I love that, because it gets, it kind of gets a little bit of motivation or inspiration to the other residents that you have on campus to say, hey, like this person was in your same position and they've done this, and look where they are now. It is the epitome of hope, which I think is what we all need. But that's incredible. Congratulations to her.
Heck yeah. Well, Pratt, we'll make sure we link all that up in our show notes, to your website and everything, so that people can get there and find it. So thank you so much for taking your time out today and talking with us about Wilmer Hall. We really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you more soon.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
All right, Pratt.
Thank you.
See ya. was a good interview.
That wasn't humanizing something it's so easy. I
It's a
think
great
to
point,
sometimes, even with our publication, you see photos, you see a write-up, you see all the information, but whenever you hear something like that some hardcore good that is being done and that is happening because of these organizations, it's incredible.
Totally agree. I'm glad I'm asking that question to everyone at the end because I don't know. Everyone's
Some good answers.
Everyone's bringing up good points. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, it kind of makes me think twice too. It's like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
So that's really good stuff. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us for the Do Some Good publication. Not the publication, I guess. This is the interview segment of the publication. It's going well. We're only, I don't know, or maybe we're a third through interviews. I'm excited with the rest of the organizations that we get to talk to. Any final words before we over and out this guy?
I don't know about you, but I am excited to see the community on April 30th at the pancake breakfast. Just saying, I'll be there.
We'll see you guys there, unless I have like a broken leg or something. Well, I'll probably still be there. Unless
I'll roll you up the hill.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see you guys at the pancake breakfast. So, all right, take care.